Okay, so I have a call. Hello, welcome to Rise Above.
Lance, sorry, I couldn't get on.
No problem, mate. It's okay. You're with us now. We can hear you. You are live at Rise Above. Please don't say fuck or bugger.
Oh, oh, brilliant. I love you guys. I've been watching you, since July last year, I think? June, July last year?
July
Yeah.
2021. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
a lot has happened since then, man.
I know. It's thanks to Mark Devlin, actually pointing me in your direction.
Okay.
And also pointing me down Sheep Farm Boys direction as well. So, yeah, good family. I love it. I love the show. I've probably missed one or two episodes in the last month or so because of my own personal circumstances. But, I love being here on Friday nights.
I have seen you, mate. I've seen you sharing our work, sharing the stream on Facebook and saying, everyone tune in to Rise Above. So what is it about our message that's sort of resonating with you, coming from, you are a Sikh, am I right in saying that you're a sort of like a community leader?
No, you got it all wrong there. I don't know where you got that from. I actually am not a leader at all in that sense. I'm a learner like everyone else. I'm learning truth or searching for the truth, which we all are. And that's basically the basis of Sikhi. And what pointed me in your direction and what I loved about your work is you speak spot on, you speak the truth, you come out with it. Now and again you probably get it wrong, we all do. But that's how it is. We learn from each other. But the majority of the time, you guys are spot on, NDP, to yourself, Sam Carno. I love Omar Beats. I mean, his music is fantastic, yeah. I'm not normally into that kind of music, but he sort of draws me in because I think it's the vibe. And that's what drew me into your show every week. I've been passing the word out to my own people that I know to watch you guys as much as possible. And yeah, hopefully the word's getting out there. And you do speak the truth, and that's what I love. Basics, because I've been through the system, the grind. Obviously born in a Sikh family in Kenya. Came here when I was 8 years old, back in 75. My granddad actually got to Kenya in 1899 when he was 20 years old to do the railways when the British were in control of all of Africa and India and everything else.
Yeah.
So, and then after that project was finished in around about 1915, he decided to stay there because he loved the country so much. And then my grandmother went over as well, and my dad was born there, 31. So that's my history basically from there. Came here when I was young, studied basically the normal things that you do as a teenager. Grew up, got married, kids, divorced, as you do. Mid-30s. Then I somehow found myself actually getting into the Sikh faith, because I wouldn't call it a religion. A religion is basically a term given to by the system, i.e. Vatican, yeah? Religion, yeah, the legionnaires. When you join that's basically what religion means. They want you to rejoin them.
Rejoin the Roman Legion, right?
Exactly, yeah. So that's where it comes from. I mean, the reason I learned that term is because I was once a Mason as well, Freemason, but that was
okay.
That was just after I first went into Sikhi in the year 2000. They call it baptism, but it's not baptism because, again, the Catholic Church plays a part in there. It's purification. It's when you take Amrit Sanchar, yeah? You go to the Gurdwara and they do the prayers and everything over water, and they put sweet in there, and then you drink that. It purifies your soul, and it actually does. And I was practicing Sikh properly for 7 years, and then life turned again. I was married again, second time. Life turned again. Then I went on a different path, and that's where Masonry dragged me in. So I threw my turban off, basically, cut my hair, and joined Masonry back in 2008, sorry. I was there nearly 4 years until just before 2012 for some reason.
Scottish or Yorkshire, right?
Yeah, well, no, I actually went to the third degree, and I was getting it, not the Yorkshire one, but the other one, the Scottish Rite, yeah? And I was being dragged into becoming even higher degree Masonry, into, what do you call it, the Knights Templars and all that, which very few Asians are invited into. But I actually decided to leave before then because a lot of my friends started turning against me for some reason. They were saying, Tajfal, you've changed so much, you've become a bastard. You know, you're such a selfish sod. This is not you. And I didn't really know why that was happening. But after I come out of it, it dawned on me that every month that we were attending the lodge meetings, they get you to recite certain oldie, worldly English sort of poetry, right. And that changes your DNA within you. Yeah, it's black magic basically. And whilst I was in there, I was invited into different lodges as a guest, shown different things. I even went into the Houses of Parliament, and I was invited by really high level Masons, for dinners and stuff. Maybe I shouldn't be talking about this, but I'm not scared, to be honest.
No, you carry on. Can I just
appreciate your honesty.
Can I just go back?
Yeah.
Can I just ask you to speak a little bit more on the changing your DNA when you recite this poem? Can you speak a little bit more on that?
Yeah, I can do. Well, even physically, because I was quite fit all my life, I always done sports and martial arts. That's how I got into Sikhi, doing practicing swords and everything else. And the DNA started changing me internally. I became a selfish person, really not caring for people like I used to, turning my back on people that needed help when I used to be able to, just joyously help them without even thinking twice. And even physically, my body was changing. I was losing hair for some reason on my legs. I don't know why. And, the other parts above the legs, I don't want to talk about it, but you know what I mean? Yeah. And also behind, it was just weird. And I was getting shadows under my eyes, dark shadows for some reason. And my actual iris was turning darker and darker by the month.
So do you believe you were kind of soul sick?
More than that, my brother. I would say that I was actually dominated by them. Right. Because that's all I could think about all the time. And every time they said jump, I would say how high. So, come to this lodge meeting, Tajfal. Yes, of course I will. I'll drop everything and go there. Whether the family needed me or not, it didn't matter. And that obviously led to the breakup of the second marriage. And I got into, just real weird stuff. Enjoying half-cooked meat and stuff like that. It's mad. Because they had these weird rituals at certain times of the year that you have to attend, bow tie and everything else, black and white suit, what you have. Go there and eat certain things, and you eat steaks which are half blood soaked, and I was just wondering why is this happening, but I didn't really question it, because to me I was getting higher and higher in society, if you know what I mean. So basically my bills are paid for. Strange as it seems, yeah. If I got a bill at home like gas, electric or whatever, I used to just turn it into the lodge and it was taken care of. My credit line was increased, even though I didn't want it. I could walk into a bank and ask for £1 million loan. It was just crazy.
Would you say that this is a way of drawing people in to get?
So let me get this straight.
They're preying on the satanicness of everyone, just like the money.
It sounds like you were being catered for within the five senses prison. Yeah. You were having your needs taken care of. But from what you've just described, Taste Power, it also sounds like you were being fed upon somehow.
Yes.
So let me ask, you said you were asked to recite poems from like some old English poet. Was there any, I mean, you don't have to divulge this to me, was there anything else untoward or that lent towards, let me say that, the dark occult in anything else that they were doing in the rituals? Did anything else stand out to you?
Well, let me go back to that, the point when I was invited to the Houses of Parliament. I was taken into a room by these 3 other very high-level Masons, and we walked down some stairs and then some other stairs and some other stairs, and it's quite dark and bleak and really rustic smelling. I don't know if you've ever been into an old church.
Yeah.
And walked up some old steps or whatever, because you got them steps that go up into a turret, and you're walking round and round and round. That's like a ritual, yeah, because you're going in a spiral, aren't you?
Sure.
But this was going spiral downwards, and before I knew it, we were like 12 to 13 feet down, floors down rather, yeah. When I questioned the guy who was next to me, where are we? He said, this is a special place. Got into this place, a room, door opened, wink, wink, nod, 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 the old handshake, which obviously that's how they move. They move in signs and symbols, okay? So they don't have to speak, they just move by shaking hands or pointing their feet in different directions. So when you, in a room full of people, a Mason will always be able to tell another Mason just by the way he's standing, okay? Yeah. Or by the way he's shaken his hand or he's made a move, or whether he's crossing his chest or not in a certain way. So that's how it was. So we got into this room, and there was just a plinth, like a stone plinth, and nothing else on there. But the room smelled of evil, basically. It was horrible, rustic smell, and to me it didn't seem right. When I came out of there later on and I asked the guy who was with me, accompanying me, what was that? He said, you just witnessed something that not a lot of people are privileged. I said, why am I being introduced to this kind of stuff? He said, well, you are special because we think you're going to go far. And that was the time. That was about 6 months before I actually walked out of Masonry. And after I walked out of Masonry, suddenly my bank accounts were closed. My bills were piling up again. The work contracts I was getting were no longer there. They've been pulled away. Basically they control your life.
Wow. And let me just ask you to recap. What year did you leave Masonry?
I walked out of there just before the beginning of 2012.
Good time.
Now, isn't that strange? 2012, when at the turning point, it'd be a great awakening.
Many people are all coming to this agreement that whatever happened in 2012, it's like some sort of portal happened. Or doorway opened, some new level, collapsed. Something collapsed. Yeah.
Absolutely. And whilst I was in there in Masonry and attending one of these posh meetings, it was the first time one of them actually, he was a superintendent of some lodge that was, he'd been in charge of 40 years or whatever. He actually sat next to me at the dinner table one night especially, and he actually said to me, Tejpal, do you know we live on a flat plane?
Oh,
and I didn't know what he meant. Yeah, I didn't know what he meant. But then he went on to explain. He said, it's flat. The earth is flat. And not only that, when I was presented my certificate, the lodge certificate, when I became 3rd degree, because I became a Master Mason, it was dated 6010, but the year was 2010.
Now, let me just point this out.
Yeah?
Now, you've said you got to 3rd degree Master Mason. Now, people have this misconception that all Masonry is the same and you have to get to the 33rd degree. In some lodges, the 3rd degree is the highest. This is right, isn't it?
In all lodges, it's the highest. Then after that, you pick and choose which direction you want to go,
right,
to become more more of an adept, yeah, more of a magician.
Yeah.
Okay, once you're a third degree, you're there. That's it. All the other ones that they mention, like the 31st and all that, they're just an extension of the third.
Yeah, this is what a Knights Templar that actually watches the show, and I won't name him. He every time I work with him, he always comes up to me and says, "Lance, I really appreciate what you're doing because you try to be balanced, and when you talk about Masons and everything." And he says, what you've got to remember about 33rd, this is what he said. He says, 33rd degree doesn't mean that's like the pinnacle. He said there are many different paths, many different crafts.
There's a lot more. There's a lot more. There's more above 33 as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
Alistair
Crowley. Yeah, sorry. Carry on.
Not all Freemasons are bad.
No.
They're not. No. And the true...
Tej Powell could have been mixed up in a bad lodge.
Yeah, the true esoteric teachings of Freemasonry are actually very positive.
They were.
They've been perverted over the time, exactly the same as everything else.
It's just the ancient teaching of the ages.
Exactly.
That's what Manly P. Hall said. It's
precisely.
The ancient... This is the only teaching. It is the only knowledge. It is all down to the application.
Because the lodge system, that's fairly recent in the grand scheme of Freemasonry. It wasn't originally a lodge system, and this is how it's slowly been perverted over time. And now, essentially, what it is at lower levels is people just doing business deals with each other and having their own little club.
But what this guy says...
Like you say, Seek 101, as you travel up higher, you get to see some, pretty naughty stuff if you're in a dark lodge as opposed to a...
This is what the Templar Knight says to me. He says, listen, most Masons go there for the experience and to learn a little bit about the sun and the moon and the stars and to try and be better people. He says 99% of Masons, the stuff that you talk about on this show, they don't know about.
No.
He said it's compartmentalized. He said every lodge is different. He said me and a couple of people in my lodge, we watch your show. He said we agree with almost everything you say. We think you've identified what the proper threat is, not what's being told to us in the media. So it's like, we don't want to necessarily say that every person that's part of a lodge.
Well, a lot of them don't even know that there's a dark side to it, because most of the ones that I met, they were there for business interest only, because they were just joining the lodge to make their business flourish.
Yeah, you get to a certain level in business and industry, it's the done thing. Well,
exactly.
You're not a member of the lodge. Well, you're not going to get invited to this social.
Also, especially in a political sense, a lot of people who are getting into politics, they're literally told, join up with the Freemasons, and that will, help you get. It's a standard thing. But we did some job. I took down a tree for this. He was a guy, and he had a Freemason's ring on. And I mentioned it to him. He was a customer. He's really nice. He was an old guy. He was like probably in his late 70s, early 80s. And I said, is that a Freemasonry ring? And he said, oh yeah, I got this last month for 50 years as a Freemason.
Mm.
Yeah.
I didn't say anything to him because I was at
Maxwell,
work.
who came on the show, his grandfather was a 33rd degree Freemason, and then he was in the Shriners.
Yeah, I didn't ask him any of that because he was a customer at the end of the day. And
So yeah, Tej Powell, I just want to say thank you for this insight. It's groundbreaking.
Really,
I've been
really
looking
good
at the comments in the live chat, and people are like, "Holy shit, this is deep."
What do you think about this, man?
No, I totally understand what he's saying. And interestingly, a guy that I used to work with, he was in a lodge in Bridport, and his uncle was in it, and he got invited to join, and he didn't really know much about it. And again, it was just more, kind of like financial interests. He didn't really have a clue about it. Funnily enough, my dad got invited to join the Masons. He was in the Olympics in 1968.
I didn't know that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he was a sprint canoeist.
Right,
okay.
And then after he came out, he's a lot of sort of publicity and stuff, and I think that's probably why he got asked if he wanted to join. He didn't. But yeah, another interesting.
Yeah, my granddad was quite a prominent businessman. He and his father before him, and he did a lot of work for charity. He started his own charity and stuff, and he was approached on multiple times, asked to join the lodge, and he always said no. And the reason he said he's like, you guys have got your handshakes and you try and help each other. I want to help everyone.
That's it.
And that's what
true Freemasonry is. So that dude, he didn't even need to be in the Freemasons anyway. No. He already got it.
Yeah, my granddad turned down the mayorship as well. He said, nah, too corrupt. Don't want to be involved.
Fair play to him. Well, to be honest with you, it was the ancient time. It was probably different. I guess it was different. It was there to help each other, and the Masons actually were there to help each other. And because being a Mason in the olden days was a dangerous job. They died quite young because of accidents happening all the time. There was no health and safety in them days.
Well, that was when they used to be stonemasons. Actually, used to work. Most of them would all work with stone power rather than it just being in name only.
Yeah, and they were there to look after each other's families in case one of them passes away. So the widows were looked after. But obviously, it's been corrupted so badly now, and you got the dark side, the parasite that's taken over. It's taken over virtually everything, but it's taken over so badly in Masonry. It's scary, really.
One thing that we have discussed, especially with Master Lee on the show, is that in some point of history, it may have actually been responsible to occult the knowledge of the universe.
Yeah.
Because we've just one of our guests tonight looking into history and the timescales and everything. We've gone through massive cycles, and at some points it may have been the responsible thing to do, to actually hide away the knowledge that we are infinitely divine beings who have the ability to create or co-create our reality around us rather than passively consuming it. It may have actually been responsible to hide that, or at least hide it from the wrong people at one point. But now, obviously, the information is hidden from everyone, apart from seemingly the wrong people. We could say,
the handful that they want to release it to, and for some reason, they were really keen to make sure that I was trying to, I was going to be guided into a certain a way of thinking and psychology or whatever they were thinking. They also wanted me to get into politics. I don't know why, but they were so keen that I'd get into politics, and they even nominated me getting into the Labour Party and whatnot, which obviously, I left all that behind. So
right, so maybe they saw that you as the inroad into the Sikh community or into the Asian community. Oh yeah, let's have our man there. Let's put our man in there. Right.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And obviously, after I came out of it, 2012, for the next, I'd say 4 or 5 years, life was pretty shit. I became an alcoholic. I used to, hammer about a bottle of vodka a day, not work. Probably go to work once in a week or twice in a week. The rest of the time, I was just sitting there contemplating shit things, shit thoughts. And that's basically how it grabbed me and threw me in the bin. And then a certain thing happened to me in 2015 when I became diabetic. And I was diagnosed to be diabetic, and that shocked me again because I was quite fit most of my life. And then that basically shocked me and made me give up drinking and re-evaluate my life. And that's when I came into urine therapy at the end of 2015. I want to talk about this. It might disgust people, but it's true.
I've actually been waiting for someone to talk about this because I've learnt about it. It's not something I've ever tried. I'll say that now. But I've learnt about it from Sam Toroidal Dynamics. He is he calls it looping. Recycling.
I talked to Sam. Yeah, I've spoken to Sam a couple of times.
Yeah, give us the lowdown on urine therapy because I'm sure this is going to light up the live chat right now.
Well, end of 2015, I was pretty bad. So I went to the mainstream doctors and everything. So I was prescribed the normal glycoside and shit like that, which is a tablet that controls your blood sugars and everything, but really kills your liver and your kidneys. And after taking it for about 6 months, I found that I was aging. Even though I was like 44, 45, whatever, I looked like I was 75 because my skin had shrunk and become wrinkled that badly, and it was peeling off. It was like peeling, like a snake. Whether that was to do with the black magic that I probably encountered through Freemasonry, I don't know, but it was really pretty bad. My bones, joints were all aching every day. And I got to a point that I was fed up with the pain. That's when I actually, without being shameful about it, but I prayed. One day I just got up and I kneeled down next to my bed and I said, okay, God, if you're there, I know I did follow you on a path once and I left, but nothing really happened, for me then, because obviously I didn't know what I was looking for at that time. Please show me a way or just take me from this earth. I've had enough. I can't live like this. I don't want to take this crap medicine and this life. And 3 weeks later, lo and behold, I was pretty bad. I couldn't even get out of bed. The only thing I could do was stick on YouTube. I stuck YouTube on, and the first channel that came on was Dave Murphy, allegedly Dave. And the first video I've seen was talking about urine therapy.
Is that the black dude that talks about flat Earth as well? Yeah, he's quality. I like him. Spot
on. Yeah, he's spot on. A very knowledgeable guy. Anyway, so I listened. I thought, wow, this is sick. How can somebody think about drinking their own piss? So anyway, I was just sitting there. I thought, nah. I switched it off and forgot about it for a couple of days. But it kept plugging away at me. So I went back and I watched that video again, properly, thoroughly. And not only that one, I also watched another one about distilled water and combining the two. Okay, I thought this sort of, I don't know, I'll have a look into it. And then all of a sudden, some strange reason, I had this dream a couple of nights after that. And it was like my granddad talking to me, and he's talking about urine therapy. And I'm thinking, hang on a minute, I remember some conversations when I was young in Kenya, when I was small, and when I was sitting amongst elders, and they were talking about this kind of stuff, and cannabis and stuff like that. So I thought, okay, sod it. The following morning, although according to Dave Murphy, you should, drink midstream or whatever and have little sips to start off with, I thought, sod that, I'm going to go for it. I filled a cup, went in the bathroom, and I just necked it. I totally wanted to puke, but I held it in, and about 20 minutes, half an hour later, I felt full of energy, and because my eyesight was getting blurry because of the glyphosate that I was having, the tablets, which I'd already given up, for like a brief 5 minutes, they seemed to clear up. I thought, hey, there's something here. There's something definitely here. Yeah. So I did the practice for a whole 2 months, after that. And then I went back to the doctors because they'd sent me an invitation to go to the hospital to get my kidneys checked out. I thought, okay, fine. So I went, I did the blood tests and everything, and they came back later, about 2 weeks later, and the diabetic nurse, she sat there, who was looking after my case, and she was shaking her head. She said, I don't believe this, Tejpal, but it shows clear you've got no sugar in your blood and your kidneys are functioning fine. I said, yeah, and I'm feeling better. I'm feeling fit. No. And I was actually, I had more energy than I had since I was like 17, 18,
This totally marries up with what Sam from Toroidal Dynamics, who's been on the show, told me, because he learned all about it and he'd been doing it, and he said that basically our urine is actually very valuable, and what we don't know is that many of the big pharma
they buy it.
Yeah, they buy it and they use it to make drugs and then sell it back to us. He said that the sewage plants actually siphon out the urine and they sell it to big pharma.
Magic's dug into this.
Yeah.
Big dig. I remember.
I bet it was true, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did my research on that, and every time we flush it down the toilet, what happens is it goes through to, say, Severn Trent or whichever water authority it is, and they got special filtration. Now, the urine actually lives. Yeah, the enzymes, they stay alive no matter how hard they're battered or how much heat they're put under, they stay alive. And this filtration system takes that enzyme out and puts it in the medicine. And even eye drops and things like that, yeah?
Yeah.
So anything that is labeled urea, it's got urine in there. Probably human urine, which is really valuable, but also pig urine, horse urine, and cow urine, yeah? They recycle.
Gosh. Yeah, definitely worth a gosh. Look at Donna Harper's comment here. If you get a jellyfish sting, you pee on it, right? Yeah, my dad was a commando. He said if someone has a gunshot wound, he had to pee in his mate's gunshot wound in Oman in the when he fought in the Gulf of Oman. He said
any wound.
Yeah.
Any wound. Yeah. If you cut your finger, yeah, you pee on it straight away, and you automatically your body will know how much pee to produce at the right time, right? So if you're bitten by a spider or a snake, you pee on it, and you hold a few drops under your tongue for 5 minutes, okay, straight after you've been stung, and that's it. It's sorted.
What?
That sting will be sorted.
It's like a self-regulation method.
Even a snake bite, right? Now, even this has been not proven, but I've actually questioned an old guy from India who's an expert in jungle warfare and stuff, and he confirmed, yes, if a snake bites you, or even a scorpion, you pee on the wound, your body will automatically release that much pee, automatically, because it knows it's been invaded, yeah? And then you hold a few drops under your tongue for as long as you can. It won't kill you. That will keep you alive. Yeah?
Wow.
And it works, because if I get a cut anywhere now, I just pee on it. And it stops the bleeding straight away, and the swelling, and the sting as well. And within a couple of days, if it's a cut, that cut is healed up naturally. And the skin is healed, and it's new skin again on there. And what these bastard parasites give us? Plasters. Right? Plasters filled with chemicals which harm us on the wound, instead of telling us the truth.
Everything we need is right here.
But Big Pharma, they're not going to make money from somebody pissing on someone, are they? That's it.
Yeah, and that's why they've made the word piss sound so negative and revolting and ugly. Oh, you pissed your pants. It's good, because when we're in our mother's womb, the first 3 months we're drinking our mum's pee, okay, and then the next 6 months we're drinking our own pee. And that's where the recycling comes in. And when the baby's water breaks, that is pee. It's a bag full of pee that actually breaks. And it's your pee.
Do you know the saying, if someone's really poor, you say they haven't got a pot to piss in? Do you know where this comes from? Well, back in Victorian times, if you were really poor, you would have a pot and you would go around collecting people's piss.
Piss, yeah.
Yeah, and so then and sell it, and people would buy it. So if you were really poor, that means you couldn't even have a pot to collect other people's piss to sell it.
Right.
So if there was a trade in piss, there was actually like a market for it. It must be valuable.
Fact, yeah.
Wow.
It's a fact.
Maybe we'll have one at Raw Tree.
Look, if you look at some of the Tartarian, if you look at some of the Tartarian theories, actually urine therapy was the main go-to thing for all the healing, and they used to collect as much pee as possible.
Yeah, we can save some money on Portaloos at Raw Treat now.
Yeah,
just just recycle. No need to
bring a bottle.
Yeah, we can halve the Portaloo budget. Yeah, that's brilliant. We'll save some money there. More for my back pocket, right?
I mean, I'm not embarrassed to say I drink my pee. I loop it. I can go 20 days without food. And by
20 days without food by looping. Yeah,
just by looping, which I've done. Because I do the experiments on myself.
So you don't. So outside of that, do you take in any other liquid?
Distilled water, because I don't touch tap water or even bottled water from your shops or whatever, because that is just full of plastic shit in there, yeah?
Yeah, sure.
Because what happens is when they produce this bottled water at the factories, it's basically tap water which is put into a hot bottle, which has just been manufactured, and that leaches a lot of plastics.
Yeah, and also
within the water.
there's a big problem with women especially. They have a plastic water bottle and they use it over and over again, and sometimes they leave it in their handbag or they leave it on the floor of the car in direct sunlight. And it heats up the plastic and that leaches carcinogenic chemicals into the water.
Right in there.
Yeah, so you're literally giving yourself cancer water.
Exactly. And also all these blokes walking around with titties, yeah? Where do they get them from apart from the food? It's the water that they're drinking.
Yep.
So I don't touch tap water. If I can help it, I don't even shower in the tap water. I'd rather spend 20 quid at Halfords, buy loads of distilled water and shower myself with that. And then recycle that water.
But you can get a reverse osmosis system for your house.
You can do, yeah.
I think that's the next best thing.
It is.
Yeah.
But nothing beats urine. Urine, basically urine, yeah? Because urine is a negative word for urine. And urine is the positive word, yeah? For our pee. And where does pee comes from? Shivimbu. And where does Shivimbu comes from? Shiva. That's why they've got us thinking that Shiva, Lord Shiva, is bad. But that's not true. Shiva, everything comes from within Shiva, yeah? The actual water, distilled water, comes from his locks, from the river Ganges. And that's a fact. That's why we have Rastafari. They have dreadlocks, but they don't realize why they got dreadlocks, because they're tied to Shiva. So in a way, they're Sikhs as well, which they are. Everyone is a Sikh. You're a learner. Yeah, Sikhism doesn't exist. That's a bad word. Buddhism, it's a shit word.
Mate, anything with an ism on it, scientism,
Yeah, it's been made up.
Anything with an ism.
Exactly. So Shiva is the Lord. He's the destroyer, but he's also the creator.
Yeah, the Ouroboros, the Taurus field.
And they have to, the negative parasites or forces, you call them whatever you want to call them. I call them wankers, basically. Sorry if I swear on that.
No, we enjoyed that one.
Come on, you know the show.
Yeah. So Shiva has to be honoured. That's why even Nike, the sports giant Nike, their logo is a tick.
Oh, wait a minute.
Right?
I've got a picture.
Yeah.
Here we go. One sec. This tick here, Mike.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see because you're on the phone. I've got the Nike tick on the screen. Yeah.
So if we want to talk about Nike quickly, I've got a little.
Right.
So if people,
that's it. The Nike tick. Now, if you see the tick itself, it comes from the thumb and the first forefinger. So if you hold the two out and close the other three fingers, you see the tick right in your hand. Yeah, the thumb and the forefinger create the tick.
I'm doing it now. I'm putting my hand up to Big Mike's chest.
Right. Now, if you put it to your chest over your heart, that's a sign of Shiva. Right? And that's where that tick comes from. So they have to
we were always thinking that was actually one of the. Well, we were told.
Well, it is
by the ring. It was a ring of Saturn.
It is. There's multiple.
Oh mate, they always kill more than one bird with a stone. Come on.
But if you look into the ancient god called Nike, he's always depicted without shoes. And Nike originally has shoes. Have a look at it. Yeah. That's the ancient god Nike, and then so everyone is paying homage to him. By walking around with the Nike tip, because he's a Saturnian god. Yeah.
Wow. Now, obviously, the dark forces have manipulated that, but they're paying homage to Shiva, which they have to. Otherwise, none of their plans would work.
So, is this why there's a statue of Shiva outside of the World? Is it the World Health Organization? Or
also at CERN, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's CERN. Yes, it's CERN.
Yeah, CERN. Now, CERN, they have to pay homage to Shiva. As well, otherwise it wouldn't work. It will collapse completely, and that's why they've got their statue of Shiva there. Now, here's another one I'm going to give you. It's going to blow a few concepts apart here.
Please do.
A few myths, yeah. Right, Muhammad from the Islamic religion, the main man, yeah,
Yes.
the Prophet Muhammad, peace be on him, a real, actual, truth guy, a warrior, 100% warrior, proper warrior. He went to Mecca to abolish the basic, what do you want to call them, bankers, yeah?
The
People,
the Brotherhood of Babylon, yeah?
Yeah, and they used to worship different godheads, like statues. They had statues of gods with dogs' heads on it, or different types of snakes, or whatever. But he smashed all of them when he got into Mecca, but he left one statue inside, just the one. Guess which one?
Shiva.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly what they got at CERN. They've got one inside Mecca. Now, obviously, a lot of the Islamic teachers will deny that because they haven't been there and they haven't been given the truth. But I've spoken to some real deep Islamic guys, Sufis, yeah?
Yes.
And they confirm this. And not only that, they got Guru Nanak Dev Ji's clogs as well. Guru Nanak Dev Ji is the first guru of Sikhs, yeah? And he went to Mecca, and he was resting under a tree with his feet pointing towards Mecca, and he fell asleep. And a Maulvi came, and he woke him up, shook him hard, and he shouted at him. He said, "How dare you have your feet pointing towards Mecca?" And Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, "Well, move my feet wherever you want to move them." So the Maulvi kicked his feet around to the other side, and Mecca itself moved with the feet, whichever side the feet were being pointed to. And the Maulvi looked at it, and he bowed down straight away. He said, "You're a man of God. I am so sorry." And before Guru Nanak Dev Ji left the trip from Mecca, that Maulvi begged him. He said, "Please, Guruji, leave something for us that we will remember you by." So Guru Nanak Dev Ji left his clogs from his feet, just took them off his feet and he left them. And those clogs are in Mecca even today.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is very interesting because if we think about it, just going back to the CERN connection with the Shiva statue outside, we're led to believe that these people on the face of it are first level Roman Catholics, second level they worship Moloch and Baal and they're Kabbalists, and then there's some levels under that, but they still have to pay homage to Shiva.
They have to. Now all the other what do you want to call them, Moloch and whatever entities, yeah, that they pay homage to. They've actually created them. It's an egregore. Okay, so when we curse or when we curse somebody, we're creating an egregore without even realizing. An egregore is a spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a divot.
Yes, and that's how these guys, the dark forces, get us to create egregores against us ourselves by putting it in our minds.
Yeah.
Because we are creators, like you said before. We can create beyond imagination.
That's so
we
interesting
create
what you've just said.
We create our own wars because they show us some shit on TV. When we keep thinking about it, and we talk to our neighbor about it, and we are creating it by talking about it, because we're spelling it into reality by creating it through spells, through spelling words.
Yeah. I think. Wait a minute. I think we've actually just had a bit of a connection problem because everyone's saying the sound is gone and just come back. I think Tejpal, you're actually just going so deep there. Because I saw. My CPU is under 33%, which would indicate that we should be okay. Right, everyone's saying it's freezing. We've gone. Right, now it's just my screen. Hello, hello. Are we back?
Hi.
Right, Tejpal, you're still there, mate. But everyone's saying that the sound had gone. So I'm just going to get the other...
Yeah, Bradley Golden's just said we're clear in the chat.
We're all good. We're all back.
We're up and
okay,
running.
I'll just go back to 2 cameras. Yeah, so basically, I think you were doing so much whole rabbit there, Tejpal, that basically, yeah, you shut down the internet for some reason. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, mate, it always happens when a guest comes on and they really start getting down to
Master
business.
Lee gets it all the time.
Yeah, basically, almost every time he talks, yeah. But no,
I love Master Lee.
he should be joining us at some point. He is coming along tonight at some point. I know we haven't got you for much longer because you've got a super early start tomorrow, but we're very lucky.
3 o'clock.
We're very lucky to have you on, and we'll definitely have you back.
Can I ask you a question quickly? Before
we've got him.
So.
Okay, hold the line a sec, mate.
Okay, buddy.
Can't believe this is happening. We've got internet. Yeah, it's just like, right, are we back? Yeah, guys, I really apologise. This keeps happening. Like, there should be no problem. I paid maximum rabbit for this internet, and it's like, Tejpal, you still there, bro?
I'm here,
Yeah,
brother.
So
okay,
the people
right.
in the chat are saying it cut out just after Andy asked his question. So do you want?
Can you just
answer that
say
again?
all that again, please, mate?
Right, yeah. I'm on board with God's with some of the things he said. Obviously, the crater bit, the dome above, is cool. But then he says we're on a sphere as well.
Yeah, he says
that
we're
I
on
can't connect yet.
the outer sphere.
Yeah, I can't connect that. Even though I've looked into the Sikh spiritual books as well that we recite through every day, because there's big clues in there as well about flat Earth and Adam and things like that. I still haven't come across the sphere bit in there, because obviously, so some of the words written in the scriptures are so old that they are very old, so to translate them, I need to go back to some really old scriptures, which are hard to come by these days, because, Google's taken over everything.
So, what are you saying, that in Sikh scriptures, it talks about us living on a flat, motionless plane?
There is a couple of sentences that I can point to, but if I mention them to you, you wouldn't understand, because they are written in Persian as well.
Lost in translation.
They're not just written in Punjabi. It was the gurus, even because they could speak many languages, and they even wrote it in Persian and Arabic and stuff like that. So but I'll dig it out for next time, and then I'll be try and translate it. Yeah.
Yeah,
for
absolutely,
sure.
mate.
That'd be great, man.
I'd like you to do a presentation next time, because you can share the screen if you're on a computer from your end, or you can just send some pictures to me. I'd like you to come up with the full presentation. This was just obviously an intro, our little chat with you tonight. So, yeah.